Hello, my name is Karen Hayes. This is Understanding Your Being, Remembering Your Divinity Through Ascension. What is the purpose to existence? It is self-directed, learning through experience, development of self or being, understanding nature, understanding the laws of creation. With awareness, there are consequences to our actions. Higher vibrational frequencies allow greater development. Becoming the teacher to self and recognizing the lessons. Becoming interactive with creation. How did existence begin? Sensations gave feelings. Different feelings were felt as different frequencies. Frequencies created patterns of emotions, expression in motion. Thoughts added to the feelings. Each became a pattern. Interaction of the patterns created a desire to experience these interactions within a form. Forms have developed as an extension of the expression of that form, through movement, sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. Development from previous learning. As experiences developed, we added to our form, having greater density, changing how the feelings were felt. Inspired by our experiences of expression, we created a variety of forms to express within. The more expressions desired, the greater the complexity of form. The complexity became simplicity, with forms that could express the most with the least number of limbs for what was to be expressed. Teeth, feet, hands, wings, fins. Development of the human form. Other planets developed in isolation to express without interference. When enough learning was accomplished, planets would interact together. Different forms developed with certain qualities that they resonated with. These qualities were shared with each other. Incarnations took place on various planets to learn these different quality experiences. A common form was developed for Earth, the human. Different planets had slightly different genetics, hence the different skin tones. Historical difficulties. Emotional difficulties occurred in ancient times as peoples interacted together, some of whom were jealous of the development made by others. Technologies became a sticking point, and unnecessary war resulted. To safeguard the planet, it was necessary to lower the frequency, as one planet was destroyed. The remains of that planet, Maldek, are now the asteroid belt, its magnetic core keeping together the remains of its being. Otherwise it would have dispersed. Planets are universal chakras, energy centers, information superhighways. Recently, the planet has had its frequency raised again, as enough are taking responsibility for the collective to bring back the light. Golden Age of Enlightenment. As the planet raises its frequency, the eighth dimension within the body, the golden layer, the monadic or higher self, the I am, can be connected to with development. This is when you become your own teacher. You listen within to the wisdom you have collected from various lifetimes. In remembering your previous lifetimes, you recall incarnations on other planets. You become aware of your connection to the universe, with other life forms. Being part of the collective helps you look to the greater good, as awareness of our responsibility to ourselves, to each other. Record of experiences. Within the body, in the form of light, as electrical, and feeling as magnetic, experiences were stored. These developed in each incarnation. They became the lessons we wanted to experience, to gain deeper understanding about what we had previously learned. Unresolved experiences were other lessons to understand. In our experiences, why had we reacted to certain interactions and not others? Why were these differences and similarities in interactions between individuals? These questions developed further interactive learning. Developing interactive learning. Development was made within the form to store the various frequencies. Lower frequencies were at the core, higher frequencies on the outer perimeter. Lower frequencies gave density, hence the physicality of the body. Interaction of the thoughts and feelings created unique patterns. Varying frequencies were shown as different colors of light. Shapes developed. Symbols for identification when qualities were experienced. These help us learn as we develop deeper understanding. The hidden world within. Although we interact and experience the world through our senses, outwardly, it is our inner being that gives clarity to the lessons we are learning. The subtleness of sensations helps us attune to the different frequency vibrations. We become like a tuning fork, recognizing the differences. We have inner senses to help us. In the calm, still and quiet, we learn about ourselves and our past experiences with focus. We have abilities, inner sight, inner hearing, inner smell, inner knowing, inner touch and inner taste. Regular visits are needed to focus within. A simplified version of the multidimensional anatomy, showing only the first 4 dimensions within the body. There are 18 and 6 hover bodies, or containment vessels. Each hover body contains 3 dimensions. Multidimensional anatomy is a bioelectromagnetic aura, or personal body space, around the whole body. It is a biological template containing light as electrical activity and feeling as magnetic activity. Consequences of unresolved, stored experiences are felt within the first dimension, the physical body, as health conditions, as clues to help resolve the misunderstood experiences. Each dimension stores within it the experiences related to it. These thoughts are stored within the mental dimension, dreams stored within the astral dimension, can be multi-purpose. First layer is called the causal physical dimension, second the emotional dimension, third the mental dimension. This is contained by what is known as the Nada Hova body, and beyond that is the astral dimension. First 3 dimensions of the multidimensional anatomy, inner layers within the body, interact together, forming the flow of life force currents within the body. Flow of life force is affected by how these 3 dimensions interact. When we block the feelings due to bodily sensations we feel uncomfortable with, we create a blockage in the flow of life force. When we interrupt our thoughts due to bodily sensations we are uncomfortable with, we interrupt the flow of life force. When our thoughts resist our feelings, we create resistance in the flow of life force. With time, the physical, emotional, and mental dimensions interact together. The physical gives us lessons with causality expressed in health conditions. The emotions give us feelings, and the mental give us thoughts. There are techniques to help cope with physical, mental, or emotional pain. It is person-centered. Problem solving, goal setting, pacing, education, relaxation, meditation, exercise, mindfulness, medication and food. It is important that you are honest, that you're realistic, you divide your goals into manageable chunks with timing. and that you're proactive in what you do. You might find alternatives. You need to listen to your needs, use a variety of techniques, be consistent, and follow advice. Ease and dis-ease. When we misunderstand our experiences, they create dis-ease within our being. Justifying the misunderstanding with negative thinking can result in dis-ease. Prolonged misunderstanding, negative thinking, and further justification can create disease. We can create ease within our being when we become aware of the dis-ease. Awareness of how we feel and what we are thinking helps us focus on the misunderstanding. Acknowledging allows negativity to loosen. Forgiveness allows release. Unconditional love helps rebalance. Connecting to the light. Life force flows within the body. You open yourself to the sunlight through the top of your head, allowing the light in through the crown of your head, the crown chakra. Imagine roots from your feet to earth, grounding you. You become a portal of divine light. You might do this for a few minutes. You create a bridge of light from heaven to earth. This allows the higher frequency vibrations to enter. Done regularly, this helps raise your vibrational frequency, clearing the lower frequencies. Be aware that this is likely to clear the emotional clutter you have stored within you. Remembering the collective. As your frequency raises, you recall what you had forgotten from this lifetime and others. Your connection to the sun is your reminder you are from the light, from source. Raising your consciousness occurs as you raise your vibration, remembering what you had buried within. Each of us is an expression of the divine, part of the collective consciousness. Divine learns through us, as us, when we connect to our higher self, through our emotional development, our willingness to learn about ourselves and take responsibility for our actions. Clues to understanding your experiencing. Vibrations are stored within the various dimensions. Bodily organs store certain emotions. Negative thoughts create distortions and density. Positive understanding of experiences release densification, realigning your being. For example, kidney problems. When a kid, you may have felt someone was taking the piss. Knee, N-E-Y, as a bodily part, sounds like knee, K-N-E-E, or feeling you had to kneel emotionally to another. Negative thoughts added to these feelings over time can create dis-ease. Ascension to remember your divinity. The aspect of you that showed the way rises within when it is prepared, although it might feel unprepared when it happens. Movement arose within, described as flowering. It needs to fit within its form, and emotionally decluttering allows this process. Meditating within the heart allows you to listen to your higher self, that aspect of your divinity, your teacher. Breathing light from the sun into your being fills it with sustenance it requires. It is of the light. Listening within and surrendering to yourself is needed.